Hello there everyone, vinyl community, YouTube. Welcome to the balcony this spring evening. It's been a real fantastic day today, almost summer weather. So I've been having t-shirt and shorts for the past couple of days now. Feels fantastic in comparing to the snowstorm that we have been having now this winter. A couple of weeks ago, Adam87 made a video where he rated the best Duran Duran songs, and I said in the comments there that since Duran Duran is one of my absolute favorite bands from in the 80s, it was hard to actually do a rating of my own, at least here and there at the time. So I said maybe I should do a video where I'm showing my Duran Duran collection, pretty much like I showed my Depeche Mode collection and my Pet Shop Boys collection in the beginning of my VC career. And keeping my promise, here it is. Maybe I should do some more showing of my collection of some of the artists that I have the most of, if there are any interest out there. But let's see what happens. Might be an idea. But Duran Duran is a band that, when it comes to the 80s, such a fantastic band. But they have had a rocky career when it comes to quality, as you will see here. But starting off when they are at their best. And I'm going to mix the singles and then the albums. So from the first album, which I had the debut Planet Earth, I don't, unfortunately. I'm not going to have all that much history either. I think many of you who like Duran Duran knows about the members, Simon Le Bon, Nick Rhodes, the Taylor, three-time Taylor guys. So let's let the music and the vinyl do the talking for most of the times. The oldest Duran Duran single I have is this one, Girls on Film, and a great one, a horrible video, but still a great song. Faster Than Light at the B-side, Careless Memories, Canada at the B-side, and we have their debut album, their self-titled. It's really nice produced, even though it is not a perfect one, but it's their debut, and they haven't really. It's on the way to becoming the Duran Duran that we all know of. But it's a good album. It's a good debut, no doubt about it. Classic one. Then comes next single, My Own Way, Like an Angel at the B-side, and we have one of the most iconic singles, one of the most classic and one of my favorites, Hungry Like the Wolf. Careless Memories live version at the B-side. Really like this one. Say a Prayer, also another one of my absolute favorite ones. We have at the B-side Hold Back the Rain remix. And then we have one of the most classic and greatest 80s album ever. Maybe this is one of this is my favorite Duran Duran album, Rio, of course. Real fantastic one. can't be much more 80s than this. So the Duran Duran at their absolute best. Then we have this one. Is There Something I Should Know? Also a classic, real great one. Facing This Color at the B-side. Then we have a real special one. The Reflex. Real great single. And at the B-side we have New Religion at the B-side. Also a great song. But this is also, as you can see, special limited poster sleeve. Special limited edition poster sleeve. So very happy for that. And we have New Moon on Monday, also a real great one. Tiger Tiger at the B-side. Also another one of my absolute favorite Duran Duran songs, Union of the Snake. Secret October at the B-side. Classics, up on classics, up on classics. And speaking of classics, this is also one of my absolute favorite Duran Duran albums, Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Also an album that is a classic all the way. Like Rio, this is an album where almost all the songs could have been single. A fantastic Duran Duran album. Then came an album that was a little special. It was this one, Arena, recorded around the world in 1984. This is of course then a live album, and I have a gatefold, and it was made a concert movie for this one. I didn't see it when it came. I was a little too young then. But they broadcasted it on Swedish television just around 10 years ago, when I have an 80s night and at the Swedish television, and I saw it for the first time, and it's very strange. It was a very strange movie actually. They didn't understand too much of it, but it was okay, but it was pretty strange actually, but it was 80s feeling, of course. That was the most important. And along with that came this single, The Wild Boys. It is a single that when it came, it was when I started to develop my pop interest. And then I thought it was a really good one, childhood memory, no doubt about it. Then came a time around 10 years ago when I thought that I was very tired of it. I thought it was stale production, and it wasn't definitely not one of my favorite Duran Duran songs, but it's grown on me again. I think it is still, I think there are better Duran Duran songs, but I was a little bit unfair to it, but it is a great song, no doubt about it, even though it's not my absolute favorite Duran Duran song. I'm looking for Cracks in the Pavement at the B-side. Then we have the James Bond song, A View to a Kill, and A View to a Kill, That Fatal Kiss, an instrumental version by John Barry at the B-side. And this one, real childhood memories. Little overplayed, but I real remember this, how much I loved it when it came. Then came those years when they had a breakup. We had Arcadia, that has been labeled as the best Duran Duran album that Duran Duran never made, and I agree. It sounds very much Duran Duran, and it's a fantastic and great album, very underrated. We have Power Station, where the Taylor guys went to, and it's okay. Okay project. Some Like It Hot. It's a good song, no doubt about it. But maybe it's a little bit stale for me comparing to Arcadia. So I think Arcadia, in my opinion, is better than Power Station. Then 1986, The Big Return. Not Notorious. And we have at the B side Winter Marches On. Not a song that have been standing the test of time. Not the Duran Durans. I think I liked it when it came, of course, but it's also a song that I've been a little bit tired of. That it's good. It is a good Duran Duran song, but not Duran Duran's absolute best song. It works, but they have done even better. And I remember that it was pretty much the opposite when the Notorious album came out. I enjoyed the single Notorious, but the rest of the singles from the album I thought was maybe Duran Duran's worst songs. I never liked Skin Trade. I thought that was a horrible single. Meet El Presidente was okay, nothing more, nothing less. Today I appreciate them a little bit more than I appreciate Notorious. Meet El Presidente, I think is a great song. Vertigo, Do the Demolition at the B-side. And with that came a Notorious album, which is a great album, definitely. Not in the same caliber as or Seven the Rag Tiger, but it's definitely a great Duran Duran album, definitely, no doubt. Then we have, moving on to 1988, and I Don't Want Your Love. Also a great song. It's an album version of the song at the B-side. Then came a classic that I really think is one of the best Duran Duran's most underrated songs. All She Wants Is. I think this is a real great song, real fantastic, well made, great dance track, and I also love the video of it, which you can see a picture from here. And I Believe All I Need to Know in a medley at the B-side. Do You Believe in Shame? And we have the Crush Brothers LSD edit. This is an album that is very underrated, big thing. It has been labeled as a so-so album from Duran Duran. I think it is a real good album, in the same caliber as Notorious album. I think it is definitely a real good album. I remember when I bought this CD and listened to it, how I was surprised how good this actually was. So actually highly recommended. The big thing. Then it went downhill. 1990. I don't have that single. I'm the first single of the next album, Violent of Summer. I don't know. Maybe I should have it for the collection, but I think that one is a real bad song. I remember when I heard it the first time in 1990, how I really thought that was a bad Duran Duran song, and I still think it's a bad Duran Duran song. And here we have Serious, better song though, even though not at the same caliber as the past. Also a whole lot of new members. And with that came this album, Liberty. This is one of the Duran Duran's worst albums. I think this one is uninteresting, They all of a sudden wanted to put on some guitars, and it wasn't Duran Duran for me. And I have it merely just for the collection, but definitely not my favorite Duran Duran album. And much of the 90s wasn't Duran Duran's best album, the best period, even though they had 3 singles from the 90s that actually was good. Ordinary World, of course, real great song. Come Undone, also a fantastic song that I don't have on as a single yet. Remember when they came and I'm thinking that Duran Duran is back. Liberty hasn't existed. We have a 3rd single, so Too Much Information, also great single. But then, many years later, I finally got hold of their self-titled from '93, labeled as the Wedding Album. Listened to it, and it was a disappointment, a big disappointment. These 3 singles were definitely the only good songs on this album. The rest was very uninteresting and didn't do me anything. It's also another album that I have just for the collection. Then 1995 came this one. This is Thank You. It's a cover album where they do covers of other artists. We have Lay Lady Lay, we have White Lines, we have Watching the Detectives, some real Perfect Day, Lou Reed. I remember the reviews when this one came in the Swedish newspapers, and they were pretty tough. They didn't like this one bit. On the other hand, all artists that was connected to the 80s received bad reviews, more or less, in the 90s by the Swedish media. But it isn't all that bad. It is definitely better than the Wedding Album and Liberty, in my opinion. But it's not either the perfect Duran Duran album. It's a good album. It is an okay album. They do interesting versions of these songs, but it's not something that you remember. But it's an okay album. Then in 1997 they came with a single for the soundtrack from the movie The Saint. In my opinion, The Saint is not all that good album, but they have a lot of great music. The Orbitals' Saint theme, among others. And this one was a real okay Duran Duran single, actually. Out of My Mind. And we also have Silva Halo, Sinner or Saint, and Out of My Mind electric remix on this 4-track CD single. Then 90s ended and new decade, century, and we have this one, Someone Else Not Me. Remember when I heard this one that this actually, I thought this one was the best song Duran Duran had done since Come Undone. But it's a good Duran Duran song, definitely. I think Come Undone and An Ordinary World, of course, is better, but this is a really great song. It was definitely a step in the right direction. Pop Trash, the album from 2000, is good. It is okay. Not their strongest album, of course, but it's a step in the right direction. Both when it comes to melodies and when it comes to sound and production. And that's it. Besides from this one, a memory from the times when I wasn't all that all that experienced record collector. So I bought this one, the very best of Duran Duran, not knowing that this actually was one of these bootleg collections. But it's from the beginning to or to come undone. I do so. It's a okay collection. I listen to it a lot of times, even though it's not official, of course. When it comes to Duran Duran in the 2000s, I have listened to album after that, Astronaut, and it is a good album. Also, not the best album, but it works. It was a good album, nothing more, nothing less. Then after that came an album, I don't remember the title of it, that where they collaborated with Justin Timberlake and Timbaland, and I don't understand why they would do that, because that one was definitely not the best thing they have done. So that one went in here and out here. But then all of a sudden became interesting again. Then the album All You Need Is Now came. I don't have of course, as I said, these newer albums, but I've heard songs from it, and the title track and Leave a Light On and especially Girl Panic are real good. Girl Panic is Duran Duran almost like they were in the past, in the 80s. And also when it comes to their latest album that was released in a couple of years ago, Paper Gods, with the single Pressure Off, produced by Nile Rodgers. Normally that is not a good sign, but this one was really good actually. Pressure Off was a fantastic good single. So it made me think that All You Need Is Now and Paper Gods may be the return albums for Duran Duran, where they are good again. Hopefully it doesn't come out as the wedding album as a disappointment after some good singles, but I have high hopes for these two latest albums when I find them. So a rocky road for the Duran Duran, a magnificent one of the best 80s bands, one of the bands that didn't hold in the 90s, but was disappointment. Little better in the 2000s, but not much. And then at the 2010s, pretty good band again. I also have, not to forget this one, videotape with the videos from Rio and Seven and the Rag Tiger. And this one is real good. A lot of these videos are real classic, but there also are low points, like Girls on Film, which is with the censored night version. It's pretty horrible. And also The Chauffeur. Girls on Film is directed by Godley and Cream. Definitely not one of Godley and Cream's best videos. The Chauffeur was directed by some movie producer, some indie movie producer that no one had heard about, that Duran Duran put to do a video while they were on tour. The band doesn't appear in the video. But overall a real great if you want to watch 80s videos at their best. So, with that, I hope that each and every one of you have been having a great time watching Duran Duran. See if I do any more artist specials. Until next time, I hope that every one of you have a real nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Enjoy this fantastic spring and take care, and so long.